Good afternoon, people. Recently I did a article and a video on like what is the point of software for a business, for a contractor. And in there I had four main points. One was to know your numbers. Second was to streamline workflows and operations. Third was to get info out of the owner's head and into systems and processes. And then four was just simply to know when you're going wrong and right. And that's where a software can help you. AKA, knowing when you're going wrong and when you're going right means job costing. So it goes without being said, like this is super important, right? If you've ever run dry on cash, you know what I'm talking about. And the tough part is once you've arrived at that point, it's really hard to know. It's really hard to bounce back. It's really hard to overcome because it's tough. Kids are playing out in the snow, so yeah, enjoy the screams. But it's tough to overcome the like. Well, what do I need to do different? What do I need to change? Like it's like you're driving blind, and if you don't know when you go, if you can't connect like what's going wrong, what's going right, like you have no feedback loop, and you just kind of continue doing status quo, and nothing really ever changes. That's the definition of insanity: is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But anyway, if this is how you operate, the first warning sign is when cash flow starts drying up. But what we want to do is build in warning signs long before you're in that position. So when things do go sideways, you know, you can dig into your P&L. There's a lot of P&L can do for you. There's a lot you can learn from your reading your P&L. But in a lot of cases for contractors, it doesn't tell you where the leak is. Like it can, like if you're out there buying toys and maybe you have a ton of equipment or whatever, sure, a P&L will show you that. But what it won't show you is something like, well, which job is, why did we spend so much on payroll and production isn't coming in, like revenue's not coming in, and which job did we go over hours on, or which job did we go over materials on, or what is our most profitable type of work, you know, or what was our most profitable job. Like it doesn't tell you that stuff, which is why job costing is important, because instead of looking at your P&L from a company-wide perspective, it's like looking at a P&L for each and every individual job, and it tells you exactly where you went wrong and where you went right. It tells you, not only that, it tells you what part of the job went sideways if you had that. So many times in a big job, maybe you did excellent on 3 out of the 5 work areas, but 2 out of the 5 work areas took so much longer than you anticipated that it sunk the profits for the entire job. And it's really important that you're able to dial down and know exactly, well, which part of the job did that to me, so that not only do you know, but also so your team can know, and so you can avoid making the same mistake over and over again. And the way to pull this all off, the way to cast light on this whole problem is to track. And if you want to know, you have to track. And what tracking means is clocking in and out on every job, tracking all your materials. Yep, even that couple tons of stone that you got from your shop supply that did not generate a receipt. So it's kind of like this invisible expense, so to speak. And basically, to say it simply, is to track all time and expenses for every single job. And that is the only way you will know when you're going right and when you're going wrong. Just a P&L won't give you that level of decision-making power. Problem is, this is probably what you're thinking, is tracking is hard, right? Yeah, it can be, especially if you're doing it manually on paper or spreadsheets or whatever. But shameless plug for SynkedUP. I mean, this is why we built SynkedUP, is to make this super easy, smooth, and seamless. And so that, you know, because the systems and processes you set up have to be easy. They have to be easy to use, seamless. Otherwise, they're not going to get used, and then you're not going to get the benefit. But back to the principle I'm talking about with the whole, you got to know where you're going wrong, where you're going right. You know, you can do all the hard work of budgeting, estimating, and recovering your overhead, doing all the math on your estimates correctly. But that's only half the battle. And it's true, if you don't get these numbers right, you know, you're playing Russian roulette with your profits. Like, if you don't get the math right, then, I mean, that's square one. You got to get the math right. But there's more to it than that, because the other half of the battle is job costing, like tracking the quantity of the man hours, the materials, the tonnage of stone. There's a couple extra layers of pavers you picked up, etc. Because if you get the quantities of the materials or the labor wrong, it doesn't matter how perfectly you did your math on the estimate. Like you could still completely wipe out your profits. Like there's two ways to lose profits on a job. One is getting the math wrong, budgeting, recovering overhead, all of that. The other one is to get the quantities wrong. Like it took longer than you figured, more man hours than you figured, you needed more stone than you thought. And to get back to the tracking part I'm talking about, the only way you're going to know if you're getting that second point wrong is if you're tracking the man hours and the expenses. So tracking man hours allocated to so that every man hour that you're paying out on payroll for is tracked to a job is not that hard. I mean, you can do it in a bunch of different apps. It's a pain to do it manually, and you can do it in the SynkedUP mobile app, and that's what we specialize in. So the other thing you can do that you need to do, and you probably are already doing this, is tracking all of your receipts. That's not too hard, but one of the ones that's easily overlooked is what about the materials used from your shop, the bulk stone pile, the plants you had there, the pavers you had in the boneyard, you name it. Those are super easy to miss, but SynkedUP tracks them really beautifully and simply. And if you do this tracking of man hours, materials, both that generate receipt and don't generate receipts, you're going to have your answers. You're going to know. And you're going to know when things go right and when things go wrong. And you can, if you have an issue, you can nip it in the bud. And you have the power to avoid repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Granted, you can do everything I've just said in a spreadsheet manually. Here's the thing. It's not hard to job cost once you have all of the data to job cost with. The hard part is collecting the data to job cost with. So that's, again, what we set out to make easy in 2016. That's when we started building SynkedUP. This was the thing that was missing for us at Tusky Landscaping and is missing for tons of businesses across North America, and what we're setting out to fix now. Because what you want to be able to know is when you're going right, when you're going wrong, in real time, not 5 weeks later when it's way too late to do anything about it. But you know, people that are job costing manually, hat off to you, because that's manual work that you're probably doing after dinner or whatever, and it takes time. And the thing is, though, if you come to your crew weeks later after the job's wrapped up, it's like, hey, we didn't do so hot on that job, we went way over an hour. It's like, do you have any reason, any idea why? By that time, they're on to their 8th job since then, and it's really tough as a crew leader. I'm speaking from personal experience. It's really hard as a crew leader to be like, well, yeah, we didn't get materials on time, and the design was more complex than we thought, the elevations were shot wrong or whatever. It's really hard to kind of make those, to draw that level of information if it's weeks after the fact, because you're on your 10th job since then, right? So it's much better when it's live and in real time, because then before the job's even done, like I just got off a call with a SynkedUP user that said, dude, I know at lunchtime how we're tracking on this job, in real time. Not only do you know, your crew knows, and that's where you can really connect that feedback loop, that cause and effect, and you get the ouch, we didn't do so hot, connected to, well, here's why we didn't do so hot, to what do we need to do different to not repeat the same mistake. Add more hours to the estimate, make sure to check shoot levels, or shoot a laser on a job to make sure you're not getting the heights and stuff wrong. You name it. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to screw it up. The important part is, though, to have that feedback loop to know when you're going right and when you're going wrong, which is the whole point of this video that I'm talking about. So anyway, if you're in the mood to join the growing SynkedUP crew, join the movement of entrepreneurs that are saying no to just breaking even and working to thrive instead of just survive, paying off equipment, paying guys better, getting more time with their family, living better lives, all wrapped up into what our mission is, to help business owners and their teams to live better lives. And if you want to join the SynkedUP crew, there's no better time than now. We have an offer going on right now through the end of the year, December 31st. If you sign up before December 31st, 2022, at the time of this video, you can get 3 months of the Pro upgrade on your SynkedUP subscription for no additional charge. It's $600 savings. Plus, you get our experts on our team helping you build your budget, getting this locked and loaded, getting all of your systems and your processes built in your account, and make sure that your budget is built correctly, so that the prices you're putting on proposals that are going out the door are correct in real time. And if any of that sounds like something you need, or you've had some of the pains that I've mentioned, hit me up. You can text me, 814-383-1901, or shoot me an email at wesson@synkedup.com. or go onto our website at synkedup.com and book a demo, or DM me on Instagram at synkedup.com or at SynkedUP. So whatever's easier for you, reach out to me. Be happy to help you. And we will talk to you there. And if not, see you on the next video. Give this video a thumbs up if it's helped you. Hit that subscribe button, and welcome to the journey. Thanks, guys.